Alright, what's up guys? JaretCampisi coming back at you with another motorcycle video. Today I'm going to show you how to do an oil change on a 2015 GSXR 600. This will work for any GSXR from 2011 all the way up to 2017, the 600s and the 750s. So if you have any bikes in that range, this will work for you. So we're going to take you through the whole process. Dado is going to help us out. We're in his beautiful garage here. So stay tuned. Alright, so first off, we're going to show you just like kind of the stuff that you need to go through, which is important, so that way you can go out and get it, so that when you start and get through this process, you don't get stuck like I did trying to get the oil filter off when I couldn't get it off. Oil, I just went with the standard Suzuki oil, 10W40, and yeah, that'll do the job. The 600, I think the 750 as well, take 2.6 quarts of oil, but again, as Dado mentioned last time when I overfilled it, it depends how much you get out, so make sure you use the sight glass, and we'll show you how to do that afterwards. Also, just went with the standard Suzuki oil filter, and then that's the brake washer as well that comes with it, which is really nice. Tool-wise, you're gonna need some hex tools. I believe this was a what size?
4mm.
4mm. Standard, whatever the hell this thing's called.
Ratcheting wrench.
Ratcheting wrench, and this was a what size? 17.
17mm.
That's to actually loosen the little oil drain pipe. Thank you. You're probably going to want some sort of, these are like fancy paper towels. I just use normal ones, but Dado's a badass. And then obviously an oil pan to drain the oil into, because you don't want that shit going everywhere. So basically, in order to get to the oil filter, which is a shame because you can get to the drain, but you can't get to the filter, you have to take off this fairing, this whole fairing basically. So there's just a bolt here, there's two here, and then there's some pop pins on the back side, and then also here. We'll show you all this as well, but you have to take this fairing off, and you want to be careful with these fairings because they are expensive. I think they're like $400 to $500 each, maybe even more. And we made a nice little bed for it on that side, which we'll show you when we get to it. So that's what we're gonna do. Let's get started. I'm gonna start with the hex head screws. He's gonna start doing the pop pins, and he's gonna explain how they work.
So there's two types here. This one came from the inside of the fairing, and with this one, when you press on the center of it, it releases it. When you pull it out, then you kind of reset it like this. When you set this inside the fairing and you push on it, it pushes these little feet out and then holds the fairing in place. The second type is up here. This one actually needs to pop out. So you slide a little screwdriver in there and turn it, pull out the center, and it comes out. And same thing with this in reverse. When you press it in, it spans these little feet and holds the fairing in place.
Which is kind of crazy to me that that's like what's holding the fairings on when you're going like 150 miles an hour down that fucking highway. Yeah. Okay. Two things that I forgot to mention were the ones back here, which sometimes can be a bitch.
Came up.
There we go. So there's that one. Where's that little tray? And then there's one in, oh okay. So the one in here is actually on the bottom, which is kind of mind-blowing. You're probably not going to be able to see it, but I just got it.
There you go.
I just got it. This one's bad because it
opens that up.
Yeah, and this one's bad because it gets grimy as shit from all the bottom stuff from the road. Okay, now this fairing's gonna come off, or actually no, you gotta pull it out from here. It's super finicky up here, and it connects like up underneath, so you just gotta be really careful. See that? See these little tabs? So just be really careful when you're playing with these, because they're just plastic.
What the? Wait, show him that?
That's for inseminating.
That's a screwdriver?
Yeah, it's a big screwdriver, so I can really reach in it. You probably don't even need to be filming. Alright, you hold this for me. Gotta get in there.
No, we gotta get everything.
Get in there. It wasn't this hard last time. I'm pretty sure there's nothing there. We just want to make sure we don't break the fairing. See anything?
I'm trying to release this clip.
There's still another clip in there.
There's something holding it there. Don't pull on it. Or just pull on it.
Oh, okay, yeah. So that's what it is. It's this, you do have to just pull on it, right?
You just have to pull. So right at the bottom, there's one.
Is there another one down there?
No, I'm just telling them.
Yeah.
So they knew what that one was.
Yeah, okay. And then, yeah, definitely set your fairing down on something that won't scratch it.
Nice little bed for it.
Yeah. All right, so now we finally have access to what we needed.
It was this that helped.
It was, yeah. Hopefully you all have a serial killer screwdriver you can use.
Okay. So to get the oil out, use a 17mm socket, and the drain plug is located right here. What I like to do is I'd like to actually take the filler neck over here. I like to take this out. This bolt.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
And that helps
Breathe.
with draining to breathe. Don't forget to put that back.
Yeah,
We'll set that
good
right
idea.
there.
So these don't have any kind of like torque specs or anything like that, right? It's just a tighten it down.
They
kind of
do.
thing.
Yep. They got torque specs.
Oh, they do?
Yes.
Oh shit, okay. Look at all that brand new oil.
Actually, give me that flashlight quick. So you can actually see a little bit of silver in there. Seeing it in the center.
Oh wow.
A little bit of metal shavings. How many miles in this oil?
On this oil?
Yeah.
Maybe 100.
Pretty clean still.
This was synthetic oil too, I paid extra.
There it goes. So this is the bottom of the drain plug, and there's a magnet there
Look at that.
to catch metal shavings, and you can actually see
Yeah.
a buildup of metal shavings all the way around here, and then there's a big one there.
Wow.
So that's from the inside of the motor. A lot of time during the braking period you'll get some of that stuff, but this is pretty big.
Yeah, that's...
So there's a chunk there.
So what might cause that? Could I overfilled it?
No, a lot of times the fine metal shavings will actually come from, you know, the wear and tear inside the motor, especially during the braking period. A chunk like this could be anything really from the inside of the motor.
So it's good that we got that out of there.
It's good that we got that out of there, yeah. So you can see that it's a souvenir, it's pretty big. Now you don't want, you know, metal pieces like that getting stuck between your bearings and, you know, your
right there.
rod bearings and your journal bearings.
That's a big piece of metal, dude.
Yeah,
That's scary.
sure is. That's floating around your motor. There's another one here.
Yeah.
So one important thing to note is we took this drain plug out, and this crush washer here actually looked like the aluminum on the engine until I pried it off, because they're actually kind of blend together. You want to make sure that's off before you put your new one on. And once they do crush together, you shouldn't put them back on because they crush down to the both sides of the surface, the mating surfaces. And I'll show you down here how similar those two areas.
We were looking for it.
Here's the area here that it came out of, and
that.
Focus.
that was there, and you couldn't even tell that it.
That's crazy. Yeah.
And it was just kind of in there like that.
And why don't you want to ride with that one on?
You don't want to ride with a crush washer on because you will lose oil. There's nothing there to properly seal, because this is actually a lot softer of a metal, and it'll crush the form to any imperfections, so it can seal so oil doesn't come out.
And that's why you don't reuse it as well. That's why I always want to get a new one.
They always give you a new one with the filter. Yep.
Okay. Okay, so after that's done draining, then you want to go ahead and loosen the actual oil filter. Make sure this isn't super hot. It's good when your bike's a little bit warm, but you don't want it super hot. And it's good to take something to wipe off. I didn't have any oil at all on mine.
Good.
That's a good sign. And then, depending on, I actually need something. I need grip.
Someone's a little weak.
I can't get it.
Did you eat your Wheaties today?
No,
Let me try.
I didn't. Sometimes you'll need a tool for this.
All that time in the gym.
I
You just
know.
call me a tool bag.
Wasted. Sometimes.
And you hand tighten this, right?
I thought I did. Yeah, I thought I saw it moving. I don't want this bike to fall on your head.
I can't now do it. I can't
Let me try. I think you loosened it a little.
Do we have to drive
Would you
back?
hand tighten this with Hercules?
This guy's got 20-inch arms.
It's turning actually.
it?
It's very slow though. And you keep making me laugh.
Oh god, that's got no grip. Do you have anything else that's grippier than the piece of paper towel?
Yeah, I have gloves. It's turning.
I got it.
You got it?
Zoom in on those biceps.
Yeah, look. I have these gloves that help you like with torque. See, they have pads on them to help you turn. Look,
This is the part that's annoying. Oh yeah, those would have been good.
Oh, now it's all over your
the
pipes.
part where like your exhaust is going to be completely
Yeah, so
oiled up.
your exhaust gets wrecked. And I can't believe that this is the best we can come up with,
I had
but
to loosen it for him.
yeah, he did. Why won't this come off? There we go. And then just let that drain in there as well. So just be careful, and you want to make sure you wipe all this off too. God, these are so slippery. That oil really does its job. Alright, go ahead.
One thing you want to do is make sure that all the oil is out. It was dripping just a little bit before we took the filter off, but once we got the filter off, it was intermittently still coming out, so you want to drain it out as much as possible. Second thing is you want to make sure that you clean all this oil off the headers, because it will stink and it'll mark up the header when it gets really hot. Following thing I want to show is there's a little bit of a difference between the filters inside of the media. There's different size holes there where the filament is. Overall, it's pretty much the same thing. You want to make sure that you take some oil, preferably clean oil, and put it on that gasket there. You don't want to put it on dry. And then also take some oil and put it on these threads as well. One filter actually has torque specs on it, right here, for the filter, and the other filter says something different. It actually says tighten 2 turns after contacting gasket by using oil filter wrench. So those are just, it just shows you that 2 different companies that make these have 2 different specifications. So
What is hand tightening?
just don't over tighten it like Jared did. Also, there's 2 different washers here. This flat washer was the OEM one that was on the bike. Oops. And there's this little O-ring crush washer here, and once you smash this one down, that does need replaced. So that just goes to show you the 2 different types, and if you put them on top of each other, the diameter is pretty much the same there. So we're going to put this new one on that came with the filter.
Alright, so we're just going to screw on the new filter. Make sure you use the new filter, not the old filter. That's something I would do. And so you just want to hand tighten this. Although my hands are covered in oil, so can you hand me a
clean one?
Yeah. And actually, you see that right there? How it's still randomly, it was just leaking a ton of oil. So you do want to give it some time to get that old oil out. Alright, and we're just going to hand tighten this.
Plenty.
And wipe the excess oil off. Cool. Done. And then you're going to...
Yeah, so I put the new crush washer on here, and I also cleaned all the metal shavings off the magnet that was caught on there, so ready to go back in. I'm just going to hand tighten it a little bit, and we're going to use a torque wrench because there is a torque spec on getting that tight, primarily because you don't want to strip the threads out, and the crush washer actually has to seat properly. Alright, so I got a torque wrench here, and we have it set to the proper torque spec, which is 16.5 foot-pounds. And so we're just going to put this on here. I already have it pretty snug. I'm just going to turn it until this clicks. Pretty far away from it. Getting there. There we go. Once you hear that click, that means that it's at the proper torque. We're good to go with the drain plug. Jarrett muscled the oil filter back on, and all we have to do now is fill the oil and make sure that the bike is at the proper oil level before we run it. We also want to run the bike a little bit, get it warmed up, get all the oil journals and everything filled up, and then we're going to look at the oil level again once it settles a little bit, just to make sure that it's perfect and we don't overfill it.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
We're about to put the oil in, and Jared claims it's 2.6 quarts. So what we're going to do is we have our funnel ready here, and we have 3 quarts here. We're not going to put all 3 quarts in, right, Jared?
Not like I did.
Okay, so we're going to put 2 in, and then we're probably going to put 1/3 of the other container in there, and then we're going to check where the oil's at. You never know how much oil you got out of the bike. Usually it's about the same amount, but like you said, it just keeps coming out and stopping, coming out and stopping. So we're going to put 2 quarts in at first, and then we'll put the rest in.
Damn, that is a lot cleaner than the other
Here,
one.
let me get in there just a little.
Do you want to get in
this
on
one's
this?
for my homies, yeah. Okay.
Okay. You're up, so.
My turn.
Quart number 2. Okay. Now what?
Do about 1/3 of this container, and then we'll check the oil. We'll put it down off the rear stand. Make sure you put the bike down off any kind of stands. It's on level ground, and the bike is standing straight up, not on the side stand.
On the kickstand.
Yeah. It's a lot easier to add oil than it is to go back and try to drain it out. Remember, like we did.
Yeah, that was a big. Oh, and the crush washer
And
too.
the crush washer too. Yeah.
So you want to definitely not overfill it. So I think we should check that, right?
We should definitely check that.
I think a little more.
You like to live dangerously.
I live dangerously.
That's why he's afraid of.
Did you get your bike running in the last video? Because it might not start up again. Just really, we have about 6 quarts in here.
Make sure you put your cap on before you start the bike. Pro tips brought to you by JaretCampisi.
Are you starting it or just leveling it?
No, we're just leveling it out.
Oh. We're gonna take this rear stand down. And we're gonna check the oil level on his bike.
It's so hot out here, we're losing our minds.
So the sight glass right down here will actually show you exactly where the oil level is. Now, if Jared can keep his bike straight, I can actually explain here. So this line right here is the bottom line. That's a minimum oil level. This line up here that goes across is the maximum oil level. Right now, we're pretty much at half. A little bit higher. So we're gonna add a little bit more oil and check it again.
So once you get it filled to the proper level, right now it was right at the top of the sight line. You want to start up the bike and run it for a little bit because basically it's going to get into all the little crevices in the engine and soak into different parts, and it might be a little bit less, right?
Right, and you want to recheck your oil at least one time before you go out and ride it to make sure that your level is proper.
So how long should we let this run? A minute?
Not even a minute.
Okay, just
probably
start
like 30 seconds or so, just so oil gets into everything.
I love the sound of this. Let's hear that baby purr.
While the bike is running, or even just parked there, you want to check underneath to make sure that you're not leaking any oil out of the drain plug or the oil filter. Looks like we're good.
Yeah. So it looks like we're good. Let's straighten the bike.
Yep.
Do you want to check the level?
So now you can see when we ran the bike that the oil level went down significantly.
Did it really?
Yeah, and we need to add more oil, so that's what we're gonna do. Go ahead and put it down.
2 things. Number 1, depending on how much oil you get out of the bike, 2.6 quarts is the factory recommended, but we ended up putting all 3 quarts in because we kept checking the sight glass. After we ran the bike through a little bit, it needed more oil, and it ended up taking all 3 quarts because we took a while and let it all drain out. So just use the sight glass, put in as much oil as it needs. Alright guys, so I hope this video was helpful. Again, that's how to change your oil anywhere from a 2011 to 2017 GSXR 600 and 750. And yeah, if you enjoyed the video, make sure you hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, go head on over and check out all the other different stuff we do over there, from fitness videos, track and field, more motorcycle stuff. And yeah, we'll catch you in the next one. Peace. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, how to change the oil on your 2011 to 2017 GSXR 600 and 750. Now all that's left to do is drink this Miller Lite and go for a ride. See you guys in the next one.
I don't know how you can do that with a straight face.
Did it look ridiculous?
Pretty much. It's like maple syrup.
Yeah, dude. I'm gonna go so hard on my girlfriend tonight.
Well,
Like that stuff isn't needed to be said.
That's for the bloopers.